Guys, I'm moving really soon, and I just found out on Saturday. Yesterday was Wednesday and we went house hunting. Today is Thursday and we know which house we're getting. So we just have to sell this house first in order to move in. But it might be a little bit difficult because my room is green. Dark green. And as you can see, it's not the best for filming, so I was gonna repaint it anyways, but now that we're moving, I have to repaint it. So in this week's video, I thought it would be fun if I could see how many books I could read before I finish painting my room. One thing about me is I'm gonna make a to-do list, so I actually have two to-do lists. One is for prepping and one is for painting. Oh, Dee Dee looks so cute. Aww. She's so adorable. Okay, anyways, hopefully today I can knock out all the things on my list for prep, and then my family can help me paint tomorrow. And of course, I'll be listening to an audiobook while I prep. I was thinking that I'm gonna read a thriller, and although I'm not the biggest fan of Freida McFadden, her books go by so quickly and they are entertaining, so I'm thinking I'm gonna listen to a Freida McFadden thriller. More specifically, I was debating between Ward D or The Surrogate Mother, or even The Perfect Son, just because I like the cover. It's like freaky. I started the audiobook for each one, and the only one that I find bearable as someone that's super picky about audiobooks is The Perfect Son. So that's the book that I'm going to start, and I'll be listening to that book while I do all the prep steps. Step one is to move all the furniture out of my room, and I'm actually gonna move it into my closet because I don't want it to be in the way in the hallway. This is the before video. There's really not much to see in here. Obviously, I have to remove the cat stuff. The only thing on my wall is this bear. Dresser, nightstand, bed is going into the middle of the room. I need to remove that little ottoman, and obviously my mirror and that little cat thing. Guys, for one, I was unscrewing that thing that was hanging on my wall. There's deep holes in the wall now. So I'm gonna have to patch that somehow. But also, I wanted to update you guys because I'm literally only 2% through, and why are these people already annoying me? Like, the mom is a freak. She's literally like freaky ab boy mom. Like, seriously. It's me from the future, but I'm popping in just to give you guys the Perfect Son summary because I realized I never did that. So in this book, we're following a high school boy named Liam, and his mom's name is Erica. And for half of the book, we're actually in Erica's perspective, and she thinks her son is perfect. Aside from a few creepy things that he did when he was little that have caused her to be kind of hesitant about trusting him fully. The other perspective that we're following for the other half of the book is Liam's crush. And the main plot point that drives this book is the fact that two police officers show up to Erica's house with the suspicion that Liam may be involved in his high school crush going missing. So that's all I'm going to tell you guys for now, but you'll hear my updates soon. Dee Dee, what are you doing up there? Oh, Chippy! All right, so I got everything moved in there. Yippee! Step one complete. As you can see, my hair is officially up because I started literally sweating from doing my prep tasks, but I got my to-do list completed. I'm super excited about that. So everything is perfectly on track. Tomorrow, I do want to get a primer so that I can prime my walls because I think that'll make it easier for the paint to cover up the dark green. But I wanted to give you guys a book update because I'm already 23% through. Like, this is what I'm talking about with Freida McFadden books. They feel like they go by so quickly, and I love it. Although I'm not necessarily loving the story or the characters. They're just so goofy. That's my main complaint. Like, everything feels so cheesy and like cornball and unserious. And I low-key feel like I can already predict the ending. I guess the only real comments that I can make without giving any spoilers is that the mom's point of view is so icky. Like, it's so making me cringe. Like I said, it's basically like Boy Mom, where a mom's basically obsessed with her son to a creepy degree, like an almost do you want to date your son degree. That's happening. So I'm not really loving the mom's point of view. It's just like cringe. And then also we're reading about a young girl's point of view, and I don't know if it's super accurate, but it does kind of feel like what you think about when you're younger. Like, it's just very unserious thoughts and kind of just going with the flow. So I guess that POV is more accurate, but it's still like pretty cringe to me. I don't know, but it is so easy. Like, one good thing, I'm entertained. I think I've said this before, but Freida McFadden is to thriller what Colleen Hoover is to romance. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's an easy book. entertaining, quick to consume, but it's low-key problematic and not really well written. I don't know, that's just my opinion, obviously, but I'm entertained and it's gonna be so easy to get through this while I'm painting. That's all I have to say for now. I'll see you guys later. Hey! I wanted to update you guys because I'm already 50% through the audiobook. I know that's kind of crazy. I'm low-key proud of myself because it's only day 2 and I don't have a ton more to update about the book itself. I just wanted to mention that it was so weird because the mom made a comment about a young girl's body that was just so odd and random. Like, the mom is giving me weird vibes, and I know we're supposed to be thinking the son is weird. Obviously, that's why it's called The Perfect Son, but I think there's gonna be some kind of plot twist. There has to be, because it's kind of the thing where in a thriller you never really know who to trust. So I guess that's happening, but I'll put the audio in because this line specifically from the mom was just so like, okay, like why did you have to say that? It was so weird.
And given how skinny she is, it's amazing how large her breasts are. Do 16-year-old girls get implants?
Do 16-year-old girls get implants? It's amazing how large her breasts are. Huh?
I also find it so weird that all of the older ladies in the book keep talking about how attractive and how handsome this young boy is that we're following. It's so weird. Like, he's 16 and they're making comments like, oh, he's so handsome, or he definitely has partners, like he definitely has girls chasing after him. Like, it's that whole thing, and that just never sits right with me either. So this is just completely separate from the thriller itself, but just generally talking about the characterization of these people. I don't like anyone. I truly don't like anyone. They're all weird, and it's still corny. And I want to say something so specific, like something that I don't like so specifically, but I don't know if it will give something away. Like, I don't know if this is technically a spoiler. So if you don't want a possible spoiler, I'll put a border around the screen whenever I start speaking spoiler. Otherwise, for the people that want to know, I'm getting pissed off because there is a hole that someone has dug and put a person into, and the hole dynamics are pissing me off because the person that's in the hole estimates that the hole is 4 foot by 4 foot and maybe 7 foot deep. And then she says, so that's not very big. Girl, do you know how long it would take to dig a 4 by 4, 7 foot deep hole? And also, 7 foot deep, 7 foot deep. Y'all are pissing me off. And then also, she's like talking about how like she can't see. Girl, climb the dirt walls. What are you talking about? If it's only 7 foot deep, you can probably jump and put your hands on the edge of it. Like, oh my God, don't piss me off. Because it doesn't sound like she's buried or anything. It sounds like she's just in a hole. So girl, climb out. Climb out. What are you doing? That was pissing me off so bad. Okay, anyways, back to the non-spoiler section. I'm still just feeling like this book is pretty corny and cringy, but I am still interested to see what's gonna happen. And I'm not necessarily feeling like when I'm not reading that I want to read again. So it's not an amazing book, but I am entertained. And I do think once we get a little bit further into the story, I might become more invested. I don't know. I really don't care about this book very much, but it is making painting prep go by quicker. And I wanted to also update you guys that the reason why I'm so far in the book is because now I've decided that I'm also gonna prep my sister's room because her room is dark purple. So obviously we have to paint that back to the original wall color, but I just wanted to update you guys that I'll probably finish the audiobook because like I said, I'm gonna run through all the steps of prep for her room and then I'm gonna start priming my room, and I'll definitely record that part.
This is the fastest cashier I know. And he gets down. He don't play.
Okay guys, as you can see, my hair's up again. I just finished all the prep work in my sister's room. So now I'm about to start my room. I'm low-key kind of tired already and my head's starting to hurt, but painting's kind of fun. So I'm kind of excited for that. And also, I finished my book. I don't know exactly how I feel about it, and I might honestly need a day or two to sit on my thoughts and really figure out how I feel. Because again, like the Freida McFadden books, they're easy and they're quick to get through, but then I'm ultimately left unsatisfied every time. And honestly, I think my complaints might be a little spoilery again. So like I said, I'll add a border so you guys know that I'm about to spoil something. And with all that being said, I'm about to spoil something. So if you don't want to be spoiled, skip ahead a little bit. I'm still not over the freaking hole that this person is buried in, because tell me why we figure out that there's a trapdoor at the top of this hole, and the person that's in the hole figures out that the dirt around them is pliable, like you can fully dig with your hands, and they decide to dig some of the dirt off the walls and stack it on the floor to try and reach the trapdoor. Why? If the dirt is so pliable that you can dig and get out, why the hell would you not dig into the side of the freaking wall and then just get out without using the trapdoor? This person that's trapped in this giant hole builds a pile with dirt and bones and whatever they're finding in this hole that's like a foot tall and eventually reaches the trapdoor and just starts banging on it, hoping that the wood's gonna splinter. Like, girl, dig out! Dig up and out the wall! Oh my gosh, are you that stupid? Speaking of stupid, the narrator that we're following, the mom, like, girl, is there anything up there? Is there anything up there? Is there anything up there, please? It's like she doesn't know her family members at all. I'm so confused how a situation like this can happen. How can someone not know to this degree? Like, girl. And also, another thing that was pissing me off is just the overall communication between this family. Like, why do they not speak with each other? Why do they not talk about the things that they're discovering with each other? Like, with the people that they know are not part of the problem? It's so hard to try and summarize this without spoiling anything, because I do still want you guys to enjoy this book if you read it. And one thing I will say, it's usually enjoyable to read a thriller that you can't predict the ending for. The ending and the person that's actually the villain was not on my mind. But again, that kind of pisses me off because this person was so not even in the suspect pool that it was almost like, okay, like if this person is not a suspect in any way and they just become one by the end, that low-key pisses me off because I'm like, why are we setting it up for so many different people to become the villain? And then at the end, we're like, oh yeah, it was this person that like barely was talked about. Like, I don't even know. I hate that kind of. So maybe I just don't like thriller books in general because maybe people would like that. But I found that so irritating, and specifically The Silent Patient. I remember reading that book and it did a similar thing where so many people are made to seem suspicious. And then at the end, it's like, oh yeah, it was this person that you never suspected. And it's like, girl, obviously we're not going to think it's that person if you don't even talk about any of their sketch ass traits. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it makes these people that we once thought were just like random, no one cares about people into a complete 180 supervillain. Then it's like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? Obviously, I'm a little bit hyped up, so you can tell that I didn't really like this book. But like I explained to you guys, I think I need a little bit of time to sit on my review and maybe even type up my verbal review to try and make sense of my thoughts. But I don't expect that this book is going to be anything higher than a 3-star, but we'll see. Maybe with some time, it'll grow on me. This is making it a little bit difficult for me because I'm thinking of starting a new audiobook while I prime my room, but I don't know if I want to pick up the Freida McFadden book that I was going to. It is so difficult for me to actually listen to audiobooks in general because the narration can so easily ick me out. And I think that's another reason why I didn't love this book, because whenever the voice actors choose to make certain decisions that I wouldn't make as a reader if I had the physical copy in front of me, it kind of like grosses me out. Let me stop complaining. Let me figure out which book I'm gonna read next. And of course, I will update you guys when I find out. I've been scrolling on Spotify and I have a book picked out. Let's see if you guys can guess it with some of the hints I give you. This book is a classic. This book was also required reading for a lot of people in high school in your English class, but I never got assigned it because I wasn't an AP Lang. And the only thing I know about this book is that there's like a ballroom or something, like some kind of dancing. Maybe it's like old school. I don't know anything about this book. There's probably someone trying to get married. Y'all tell me if that's even accurate. I'm reading The Great Gatsby. And one of the main reasons I'm reading it is because this audiobook is only 5 hours. So if I listen on 2x speed, I could probably knock it out while I'm painting, crossing my fingers. So since I've done all the prep for my room and I've done the prep for my sister's room, it is now time to move into the painting steps. The first step on that list is to open the window. I thought about taping down the edges, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm just gonna go directly into cutting with the primer. Hopefully I can finish the book while I cut this room. So let's open up my window so I don't suffocate from the paint fumes, and let's start painting. I'm 30% through The Great Gatsby already. I finished the wall. One singular wall. I thought I was gonna finish this whole room, but I genuinely just want to brain rot. Like, if I'm being so honest, I just want to get on my phone and watch YouTube. So I'm probably gonna do that because my parents are coming over tomorrow and they're gonna actually help me. And I think that will be so much faster if I don't try to do this on my own and I instead accept group help. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna eat dinner and stuff, brain rot, and not paint anymore today. I have a pretty big update for you guys. First of all, as you can see, I've made no progress on my room. Today my parents came over, but we just fixed up every part of the house except for my room. So I have a lot of work to do tonight if I want to have it primed before my mom comes over tomorrow to help me paint. But I literally have a headache and I don't feel good, and it's already 6, and in my head that means my day is over. But realistically, if I want to be a good daughter and if I want to push myself, I think that I can commit to finishing the audiobook and getting as much priming done on my room as possible, because I'm already 58% through The Great Gatsby, and although I'm 58% through, I don't feel like I am. I feel like I know barely anything about this story. From what I've gathered, there is a wealthy man named Gatsby, and he lives in this mansion house and always hosts tons of elaborate parties, and we're following a main character who's a lot less wealthy but somehow Gatsby's neighbor. I don't understand that, for one, because how is a super wealthy person living next to someone that doesn't make a lot of money? I don't get that. But anyways, we're following this person that doesn't make as much money, and I guess he's just like becoming friends with Gatsby, and I think Gatsby liked a girl in his past, and that girl now has a partner, and the man who's not as well off knows this girl, and so Gatsby wants the guy to form a connection for them so that Gatsby can get with this girl. I guess that's what I've gathered. I don't know how accurate that is, because I don't really love classics. Like, it truly does feel like I'm in class and that I'm like listening to an audiobook because I'm about to have a test over it in English class. Like, don't love it, but I'm not having a horrible time. I just could be reading something that is a lot more fun for me. But I've always wanted to read The Great Gatsby because I want to know what the hype's about. I fear I don't understand, but maybe by the end I'll completely change my mind. I guess we'll see. Hopefully I can find the inspiration within these next like 10 minutes to want to paint my room, because it's simply not there. I don't want to do it. And I think I'm wearing the same outfit as yesterday. I'm wearing the black and white tie-dye pants. I washed them, and I keep wearing this outfit because I think I'm gonna paint, and these pants, I feel like could get white paint on them and it wouldn't be obvious, but then I keep not painting. So I need a lock in, but my head hurts really bad and I really don't want to. So it turns out I'm laying down and I don't want to paint. I don't want to paint. Literally cutting, like doing the little, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. So I was thinking, what if I roll? Like, what if I just roll that whole wall? That might be easier and more doable in my head. Ow, and my ankle keeps popping. Listen. Okay, of course it's not gonna happen. Like, okay. How do I make cats not want to be in here? Because I'm about to start painting. Hey guys, as you saw, I completed some of the room, more than I was expecting, but not a lot. But I completed The Great Gatsby. I painted the entire time the book was going, so thank you, everyone. Thank you. I would be filming in the room so that you guys could see my progress, but my neighbor literally started mowing the grass, and so it's super loud in there, and it's 7:30 at night, keep in mind. So it's actually a little boy, so maybe he's doing it for fun. I honestly don't know what's going on. But I think that I need more time to digest the book. I think I need to honestly watch like YouTube analysis videos on it, because I truly don't really understand what the point of it was, and I don't think I was fully able to comprehend what the author was saying and what the author was trying to communicate. And I also wasn't fully present. Like, while I was painting, I really didn't care about the book very much and like what was gonna happen. Like, I truly don't care about any of the characters, so I was just like painting and kind of just zoning out. And I think it's because I was getting high off the paint fumes. I kind of gave The Great Gatsby like a horrible chance to perform well, so that's my bad for sure. Don't really know what was going on, didn't love it. It was pretty boring to me, and I think the main reason I don't pick up classics is because they make me feel stupid. Like, honestly, because they were written so long ago, it's hard for me to dissect the language, and that's obviously why books like these are required readings in English classes, so that you can deconstruct it and understand it fully with other people talking about it, so you can get everyone's perspectives, and especially your teacher who studied this work of literature. So because I didn't have that experience, I can't see myself rating it any higher than like a 2.5, maybe 3, and that's probably my fault. Like I said, I didn't give this book the best setup for enjoyment, but I didn't enjoy it, and that's just what it is, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. So that's my update regarding this book. And I know I always dog on Freida McFadden, but I might have to whip out one of her thriller novels because they just go by so quickly and they are entertaining. But I guess we'll see tomorrow. I'm gonna go shower and definitely sleep in a different room tonight because my room reeks and I feel delusional right now. So good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm about to paint the last 1.5 walls, but I can't figure out which audiobook I'm gonna read because I'm pretty sure I've already listened to like 12 hours of audiobook based on those last 2 books. Gypsy's walking on the plastic. So if I've already listened to like 12 hours of audiobook, I think I only have like 3 left for the month. So I'm gonna have to end up picking up this book that I start paper copy. So I don't know what to do. Okay, I've decided that I'm gonna start Ward D by Freida McFadden. I just need a simple, mind-numbing read. I can't be too present because I've noticed when I'm painting, like I said yesterday, the fumes really get to me. So I'm not really paying super close attention. And I feel like with Freida McFadden books, you don't have to pay that close of attention. I'm sorry if that's offensive, but that's just how I feel about them. So I'm starting Ward D. It's about this girl named Amy, who's a medical student, I think, and she has to work overnight at a psych ward. And things start happening, the employees start disappearing. Let's see why, and let's see what's gonna happen at Psych Ward D. This is the last spot I have to prime. As you guys have seen, I finished priming my room, and like I said, I started Ward D by Freida McFadden, and I got 25% through, and then I ran out of audiobook hours. So now whenever we start the actual painting process, I won't be able to listen to my books as I'm painting. So I think I'm just gonna set a timer to see how long it actually takes us to paint both my room and my sister's room, and then I'll make sure I pick up books from the library and then read until I fulfill that goal. Now onto the book, because like I said, I've gotten 25% through. I really have the same kind of compliments to the author as always. The books are very, very easy to consume, easy to understand, easy to get through, but I don't love them. And specifically, I've noticed that I don't really like any of the characters in her books, and maybe that's intentional because it is a thriller and you obviously kind of want the reader's guards to be up so that they don't really know who to suspect. So maybe that's why she does it, but I found that I really never like anybody, and I specifically really dislike the main character in this book, Amy. She's a student who's going into the medical field and she has a night shift at a psych ward, and she's just so inconsiderate as a person in my opinion, especially for someone that's going into a medical field. She seems to garner so much judgment for people that are struggling in a way that she can't relate to, and I almost feel that she's not empathetic enough for the job at hand. Like for instance, one of her ex-friends' name was Jade, and Jade's mom had a hoarding problem and maybe even a drug abuse problem or an alcohol abuse problem, and whenever this young girl Amy goes over to her friend's house, she's just having so many judgmental thoughts. And obviously as a kid, that would be so scary to see and especially to be part of and experience. But it seems like she still has those kind of judgments regarding people with mental illnesses, and especially towards the psych patients. It's like she's super on guard and almost judging them based on their mental illness or waiting for something to happen because she thinks these people are crazy. So it's not putting the best taste in my mouth, but maybe it's intentional and we'll definitely see as I read. I also found that it was weird that she would just make comments about people wearing makeup, and I just hate a pick-me. Like I hate a pick-me. And I remember specifically she was talking about her friend Jade and saying that she wears so much makeup that like her eyelashes would fly away or something. Like, we're not doing that anymore. We're not judging women for wearing makeup. And she also did the same thing about Jade's mom. She basically made a comment about how Jade's mom was wearing way more makeup than her mom ever does. And I just don't like that. So I'm really not liking Amy, and like I said, she's the main character, so it's making me not like the book as much either. But also, I'd like to note that I'm listening to the audiobook, and like I've told you guys before, the audiobook changes my interpretation of the novel because I'm not putting my own inner monologue onto these characters, so I'm having to just assume that the audiobook narrator is doing a good job at personifying this character. And I will say that some of the times it doesn't feel like they do that well, but I guess good for me, my audiobook hours have officially run out, so now I'm going to have to pick up the paper copy, which I'm kind of excited about. So the next thing on my agenda is to cut with the final layer of paint, and then my sister's gonna come in and roll everything. So the next you'll see me, I'll be painting this room. Wish me luck.
And you know what? What was that?
Okay, the first session of painting that I did took me an hour and 51 minutes. So I'm going to set a timer for an hour and 51 minutes and then read for the entire time. Also, I was thinking that for every session of reading, I'll read in a different location of my house as basically like a farewell to this old house. So obviously for this first session, I'll be reading in the master, but I'll potentially be reading in maybe even the garage so we can say goodbye to the cat cage. Okay, let's get to reading. Okay, book update. I'm 70% through. God damn! I read 152 pages in an hour and 51 minutes. I don't remember what the timer was, but that's pretty good. So I feel like I was pretty gripped by this book and I'm low-key liking what's happening or like interested by what's happening. But again, Amy is so damn judgmental and I literally marked like 4 different spots where I was like, ew, like you're nasty. The way that she speaks about people is so disgusting, but I'm pretty sure this characterization is all intentional by Freida McFadden because her ex-friend Jade calls her out at one point. So I don't think we're supposed to be rooting for her and agreeing with the way that she thinks about patients, but it's still so gross. Like I just hate it so much. Like there's this one guy who has schizophrenia and he was playing the piano and she says in her mind, it's sad that someone with so much talent had their brain crap out on them like that. But isn't that what they say? That people with incredible talent are more susceptible to mental illness? Or maybe I just made that up. Like, this girl is going into the medical field and that's how she's speaking. So odd. And at another part of the book, she's speaking about the same guy and she says, he just seemed incredibly normal for a patient in a psychiatric unit. Like the sort of person I might be friends with if I'd met them in a different setting. And as Jade noted, he's my type. Cute, nerdy, lanky, well-read, and I liked his smile the one time I got to see it. If I met him anywhere else but here and he'd flash that shy smile and ask me out on a date, I would give him my number. Of course, I would have no idea that he was hearing voices telling him to kill people, so I dodged a bullet there. Okay. Now this part of the book, the same girl is talking shit about a person yet again, but this time it's her least favorite teacher in high school. And she says that everyone in the school would hate this teacher for these reasons. First of all, he smells bad. He doesn't smell like he hasn't showered or something like that, but he has this weird moldy cheese smell. Jade told me it's whatever he had for lunch since we get to have him in the afternoon. From the second row where I'm unfortunately seated, I can always smell it emanating from him. He also has the absolute worst comb over ever. He has like 10 strands of hair combed over his bald spot. It's seriously hard to look at. Like you're just a bitch. Like you're just a judgmental bitch. Nasty. This girl is rotten to her core. Okay, I have one more moment of Amy being a nasty person and a horrible friend to Jade. For a moment, she stands there in stunned silence. Then she laughs, throwing her head back so I can see the fillings in the back of her mouth. Jade never got through a dentist appointment without needing a cavity filled. Like, why is she so ugly? Like, she is a hideous, nasty person. I would never be friends with somebody this damn judgmental. And at the point that I'm at, 70% through in this book, we're starting to get kind of a subplot of romance potentially. And it's obviously with Amy, our main character. And I just don't want her to be happy, honestly. Like, I don't think she deserves a happy romance. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like her. Like, she needs to heal. She needs therapy. She needs healing. She needs to not be such a bitch. And then maybe she can get her happy ending. So whatever. So I don't have a ton of thoughts to update regarding the plot of the book. It's really just been about Amy navigating a night shift at the psych ward and being judgmental through it all. And also just being super suspicious of everyone and really, really terrified of everything that's happening around her the entire time. But the story has been building up to something and we just got a reveal about one of the psych patients. That's so odd and random in typical Freida McFadden plot twist fashion, but I'm not hating it. As always, I'm pretty entertained, super easy to get through, and honestly curious to see how it's gonna end. Not loving the book, not hating it, blah, 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 blah. Same thing as always. But now it's time for a location change so that I can start my next session of reading. Okay guys, I just woke up and I've already looked in the room, but it's time for you guys to see. It looks so much better in the dark, but obviously we're gonna show the house in the light, so I think we're gonna have to do an entire new coat of paint on both of the rooms. So that's gonna be an extra 4 hours. So 4 more hours and we should be done, hopefully. Let me show you guys what it looks like. So with the lights off, it looks pretty good. Okay, work. Let me turn the light on so that you guys can actually see what's going on. It looks so much better on camera, but in person you can really tell that like there's lots of streaky parts, and especially around where we were cutting, it just was so thin that you can see it kind of looks dirty. So we're going to have to do a second coat. And I just wish we did 2 coats of primer, but you live and you learn. The sad part is my mom and my sister can't help till this evening, so I'm gonna be cutting in here alone. I'm gonna try to record it, but I'm honestly getting sick of recording too. So we'll see what happens. The next reading location is the garage because I'm saying goodbye to the cat cage. Oh my god, I'm gonna miss that. But Gypsy's definitely gonna miss it the most. Right, Pumpkin? Yes. I'm pretty sure I've shown off the cat cage before, but if I haven't, here it is, and goodbye to it because we're not gonna have this at the new house. Right? The second time I painted, it took 1 hour and 18 minutes. Gypsy really wants to come out here. Guys, I have some crazy news. I finished this book, but I still have 19 minutes and 41 seconds to spare. So I literally finished 86 pages in less than an hour. That's crazy. I was low-key speeding through this. But again, unsatisfactory ending in my opinion. And I definitely have some thoughts that I want to think on and then get back to you guys about. And also, it was literally pissing me off to be out here. Like, I'm still kind of frustrated because it's so damn hot. Like, I'm so wetty, literally overstimulating me. Like, all the creases on my body have sweat, so I need to go inside because it's pissing me off. So I'll talk to you in a second. As you guys can tell, I'm now in a different location in my house. I'm officially in the living room, and this is pretty exciting news because we're on the couch and this is my favorite spot to be. So I'm super excited to be starting and finishing my next book in this location. So I don't plan on moving for the next like 2 hours. I've decided which book I'm gonna read. If you have any guesses, leave it in the comments before I reveal it in 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna be reading And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by Fredrik Backman. I am super excited because I recently read Beartown by Fredrik Backman and I loved that book. It made me so emotional. It was actually crazy and shocking because I had read Anxious People years before and I didn't really love it. So I honestly had super low expectations going into Beartown, and that's why I was so surprised. But I'm imagining that this book is going to be pretty emotional because it's about an elderly man and the family struggle to let him go. So that literally sounds like a death is gonna happen, and I don't know if I'm emotionally stable enough to handle this, so I guess we'll see if I end up bawling my eyes out. As you guys saw in my last reading update, I actually didn't utilize the full timer, so I still have 19 minutes left of that timer. So as soon as that one runs out, I'm gonna give you guys an update on wherever I'm at in the book. I am super excited, although I'm a little bit worried because I'm honestly already feeling a little bit emotional about the fact that I'm gonna be reading on this couch in this house for the last time in my life. And I know that seems dramatic, but this is really the first house that I've ever lived alone in, so this was a big milestone when we first moved in. So I just feel a little bit emotional at the thought of leaving this place after having made so many memories here. But I know the next house that we go to is gonna be great. I'm actually super excited for this next chapter. And off camera, a lot of stuff has been going on family-wise, and it's just been really dramatic and not necessarily in all positive ways. So I'm just really excited to have a fresh start and of course to take you guys along with me. So that's enough being sappy. I'm gonna start this book. I'm so excited. So let's get to reading. Oh, I'm already 40% through this book. All right, I'm 40% through and I am not gonna lie, I've cried already. I cried like 2 or 3 times already. Damn, this shit is deep. This shit is deep. Basically, the old man that we're reading about seems to have Alzheimer's or dementia pretty badly. And one thing that I'll compliment Fredrik Backman about is how he formatted the book, because the formatting of the book is so complementary to that theme, because Backman seems to use a very broken up style of conveying messages. And all the scenes that we're in feel like we're in a bit of a mind space that feels confused. It's hard to describe to you guys, but when you're reading it, it feels confusing in an intentional way. I felt like I was getting a message, but it was delivered in grainy film. But then as I kept reading, the message became more and more clear that the reason why I was picking up on the fact that it was so broken was because that's the headspace that we're in. It's in a headspace where he feels confused and he is having trouble formulating what's going on in his life. So Fredrik Backman is conveying that to us as the readers while we're reading it. So hard to explain. Don't know if that makes any sense, but I really, really, really love how intentional Fredrik Backman was about formatting this book. And obviously, I love that it has the ability to make me cry. I think I'll always end up loving a book that can make me emotional because that just means I'm really connecting to the characters, which I didn't expect for this book, honestly, because obviously we're reading about an old man who's struggling with dementia or Alzheimer's, and I don't personally relate to that directly, but I do have a grandpa that does relate to that, so maybe that's what's kind of making me emotional right now. I don't know. I'm about to start my timer for the next session of reading, and that session of reading was an hour and 23 seconds long, so I'm gonna start the timer right now and pick a little different spot on the couch to continue reading. Guys, I finished another book with time to spare. And this time I literally have 34 minutes to spare. So dude, I literally think I have time to read Abby Jimenez, The Situationship. And that is the best news all night. So I'm gonna start that book. So literally, what's going on? Why am I reading so fast right now? Also, did you guys see Gypsy in that time lapse? I covered her before I covered myself and she literally went right to sleep. I don't really know how to summarize this book. Basically, everything I said in the summary whenever I was introducing this book is really just what you're reading about. So I don't have a ton of thoughts. You're really just reading about an old man and his mental struggle that's literally deteriorating his body, and he literally dies in the end. Like, that's just what it is. And that's why I cried. So I'm going to start the next book. I'm actually super excited about this book. If you guys have read Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, that book is about Emma and Justin. This book, The Situationship, is about Emma's best friend, Maddie. So I'm super excited about that. I'm pretty sure this book is only 37 pages long. So I think I'll be able to finish it in this 34-minute timer. Guys, I love Abby Jimenez so much. I finished that book in like 2 seconds. I literally have 14 minutes left. Like, I'm gonna have to finish another book. I really enjoyed The Situationship. I just hate that we left off on a cliffhanger, and these characters aren't even the main characters in the next book. So what are we gonna do about that? Because I need to hear the rest of their love story. Because we left off on such a cliffhanger, I feel like I'm gonna have to give this book like a 4-star, maybe 3.5. But Abby Jimenez is such a talented author. Literally, I didn't think I was gonna like them at the beginning, and then they started bantering and I was like, oh, wait, like I understand. But what am I gonna read now? Let me think. I'll be right back. Okay, I've picked my next book, and this is actually going to be my final book. It's called Sour Candy by Kealan Burke. The cover looks creepy. It's a horror novel, I think, but we're gonna have to see tomorrow because honestly, I feel like I've been reading all day long and I just kind of want to brain rot now. So I'll see you guys tomorrow to finish the last book of the challenge. Good night. Hey guys, I'm back. I've been kind of busy today because the realtor came over with a photographer and they took pictures of the whole house. So our house is literally going to be listed tomorrow on Tuesday. So people can start coming to see the house and potentially buy it. That's just genuinely so crazy to me. It doesn't feel real right now. But as you guys know, I still have a challenge to fulfill. And like y'all saw yesterday, I've decided that the last book that I'm going to read for this challenge is called Sour Candy. So I downloaded it onto my Kindle and I'm super excited. I'm kind of freaked out because I read the summary and it's so vague that it's making me really interested, and I want to read it to you guys, so let's check it out. At first glance, Phil Pendleton and his son Adam are just an ordinary father and son, no different from any other. They take walks in the park, visit county fairs, museums, and zoos, and eat together overlooking the lake. Some might say the father is a little too accommodating, given his lack of discipline when his child loses his temper in public. Some might say he spoils his son by allowing him to set his own bedtimes and eat eat candy whenever he wants. Some might say that such leniency is starting to take a toll on the father, given how his health has declined. What no one knows is that Phil is a prisoner, and that up until a few weeks ago, in a chance encounter at a grocery store, he had never seen the child before in his life. So what is going to happen? I'm so interested. And I'm also wondering if this book will actually be able to freak me out, because there are very few horror or thriller books that actually freak me out. And I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of horror because I don't really like blood and guts and gore, but I guess we'll see how I feel about this. I'm open to anything really, and a book can absolutely be out of my comfort zone but still be a well-written book that I enjoy. So we're just gonna have to see if that book falls into that category. So like I told you guys yesterday, I didn't finish the timer, so I still have 14 minutes and 35 seconds to finish today, and then obviously I'm going to update you guys about the book. And for my last reading location in this house, I'm going to be reading in my room because obviously this is the spot that I spent the most amount of time, so I really want to enjoy it while I still have it. Okay, I'll see you guys later. It's time for a little update because I'm 18% through Sour Candy. So basically we're following this guy named Phil, and he has a girlfriend but no children, and he goes to the store looking to pick up some candy. But when he's in the candy aisle, he hears a little kid scream at the top of his lungs, and this kid screams like 3 different times, so everyone in the store is looking at this kid. And Phil thinks that he sees a little smile on the kid's face, as if the kid's getting enjoyment from making his mom literally so overwhelmed. Like, Phil describes this mom as someone that looks pretty traumatized by this situation, and she's almost kind of zombie-like or like in a trance of some sort, staring at the sour candy. And she even reaches for the sour candy, rips open a pack, and starts like shoveling it into her mouth. So weird things are happening already. Phil ends up leaving the store. Whenever he's in his car, someone rear ends the back of his car, and who do you think it is? It's the crazy mom. So she hit Phil, and she's like bleeding pretty profusely on her face, but for some reason she's not accepting help, and she just keeps walking towards Phil. So Phil knows that there's a kid in the car, but whenever they go to check, there's no kid. So that's literally where I got stopped. Right now, it's not super creepy, but I don't hate the writing. I don't hate anything about the book. Nothing too creepy has happened, but this definitely has the potential to get even more weird than it already is. So I'm honestly pretty excited to get back to reading to see where this book goes. And luckily, I have one more timer left. Hopefully, I can finish the book within this time frame. My last session of painting took me 27 minutes and 48 seconds. So I'm gonna start a timer, and then I'll update you guys when I've hopefully finished the book. I'll see you in a little bit. Hey guys, I had to take my hair down because I was starting to get such a headache. I'm 51% through the book. Yippee! But my timer went off, so if I was obeying the rules of the challenge, I have to stop here. But since I'm not going to obey the rules of the challenge, I'm actually going to finish my book, and I'll actually time myself reading the rest of my book to see how much I'm going to go over the time limit. It's definitely got creepier since I last updated, but for fear of exposing the plot, I'm not going to say anything just yet. Most thrillers, the ending either makes or breaks it for me. So let's see what happens. I'm super curious, and I'm very excited to keep reading. Bye. Guys, Dee Dee's crying so much. Dee Dee. Guys, I finished the book. I don't know exactly how I feel yet. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. So I'm kind of feeling 3-star vibe. There were things that I liked about it, and I think it was eerie, but not super creepy. And it really wasn't that heavy horror. I thought that there was going to be a lot more gore and blood, but that was all bearable. I don't know. I feel like I was expecting something a little bit more, but I am so picky with thrillers and horror for some reason. So this is not surprising by any means. But what is surprising is that it took me 47 minutes, 47 extra minutes to finish this book. And I think it's because I was getting a headache pretty bad. I had to turn the lights off. And as you guys have seen, I took my braids out too because it was just like too much tension on my head. And honestly, I'm kind of getting a headache again. So I'm planning to give you guys my final wrap up tomorrow. And obviously I will give you guys the ratings for each book. So I'll see you guys then. It's time for a reading wrap up, and I'm so excited because I have never read 5 books in one video before, so let's get started. The first book that I read for this video was The Perfect Son by Freida McFadden, and I've decided on rating this book at 2.5 out of 5 stars, but rounding down to a 2 for Goodreads. I'm so sorry, but like we've already discussed, I don't love her, but I love that her books are entertaining, quick, easy to read, blah. I've been over it so many times by now, you guys are sick of it. Although it was quick and easy to read, I did not love the ending, so therefore it got docked. The second book I read was The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and I had been wanting to read this book for a while, so I'm so happy I got it off my TBR. And like I've explained, since it's a classic, it's just a little bit hard for me to get my head wrapped around everything that's going on in the book, and that's probably my fault for not diving too deep into it, but I can't help my taste, and this wasn't particularly my taste. So I'm gonna rate this book a 2.5 stars, but I'm gonna round up to 3 on Goodreads because I can appreciate that this book was revolutionary for its time. The third book that I read was Ward D by Freida McFadden. I'm rating this book a 3 stars. So I obviously liked it more than The Perfect Son, but I still feel like a lot of her novels are a bit problematic, and particularly this one because we're dealing with mental health and a psych ward, and I'm really starting to think that maybe me and Freida wouldn't even get along in real life, because why do I hate all her characters? Because the people that I hate the most in her novels are usually the ones that we're supposed to be rooting for. So what's going on there? The fourth book I read was, I have to look at the title honestly because it's so damn long, and Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by Fredrik Backman. This book was really cute and I did tear up, so I kind of want to rate it 4 stars, but I'm leaning a little bit more towards 3.5. So somewhere around there is where I'm going to place my final rating. I liked this book a lot. It was really cute. It was simple to read, but I always have a but, don't I? I loved the relationship that the grandpa had with his grandson, but I wish there was more of a connection explored or an explanation for why the grandpa and his actual son wasn't very delved into. Like, I wish we could have explored that a little bit more and gave more of an explanation rather than just they didn't get along very well or the grandpa was super hardworking. Like, I wanted a little bit more, but I did really enjoy that book. I loved how short it was, and there were moments where the prose was so lyrical that I highlighted it. The fourth book I read was The Situationship by Abby Jimenez. I love her. I love her so much. I need to read the first book in the Part of Your World series. For some reason, I just skipped it and went on through the series. She is just so talented. I love her. She did an excellent job exploring this relationship. I just wish it was longer. It's really just a novella because it's exploring a best friend of a main character from the book before. That sounds so confusing, but we're not following somebody that's going to get their full book, I don't think, which is so disappointing because I would love to read about these characters in their entirety. Great book. Loved it so much. Her banter, oh my god, I just can't do it. I love her. Okay, I'm gonna rate this book a 4 star. I know that's crazy after all that hype, but I just wish it was longer, and I don't love the ending. I didn't love it. So I'm gonna say 4 star, but she's so great, and I'm absolutely going to read Part of Your World soon. And the last book I read was Sour Candy by Kealan Burke. I'm going to rate this book a 3 out of 5 stars. I was expecting a little bit more, and I think it might have to do with the prose. I didn't hate it. There were definitely some parts that I really enjoyed. I actually highlighted them, but whenever I'm thinking back to the story, it feels like there was a little bit missing. Like, the plotline was entertaining, but for some reason, the words on the page didn't give me a visceral feeling, although the things that they were describing were so dramatic and crazy and scary. I didn't ever feel those emotions deeply, so that's kind of where it fell flat for me. I thought he did a great job exploring an interesting plot line. It just didn't make me feel anything super deeply, and I honestly want that. I feel like I need a good scary horror book, and like I've told you guys so many times before, I'm a super picky thriller reader, obviously, as you can tell by my ratings, I'm sure, but I'm really looking for like a scary, like I don't want to get out of bed at night book. So if you guys have any recommendations, leave them down below. I would love to read them. And honestly, I'm thinking I'm fine with horror. Like, I really thought I hated blood and gore and guts, but one of my favorite books of all time, The Horror, is bloody and gory and so scary, but I loved it. So do with all that what you will. If I'm going to be recommending books to you specifically, I wouldn't specifically say to start with The Situationship, but I would absolutely recommend that you pick up an Abby Jimenez book. My favorite has been yours truly. It's genuinely one of the best books I've ever read in my life. I'm not kidding you. I cried so much, and I think it's because I I related to Jacob's anxiety so directly. And along the same lines of recommending Abby Jimenez as an author in general, I would also recommend Fredrik Backman. And if the book that I've talked about in this video sounds interesting to you, then pick it up. I would recommend Sour Candy if you're close to your reading goal, but you don't think you're gonna fulfill it in time, because it was a quick read since it's so short. And like always, Freida McFadden books are just so easy to consume. So if you're in a reading slump, go ahead and pick one up. Like, may as well. It's gonna get you out of your slump. I know that for sure. I rated The Housemaid 3.5. So up to this point, that's the highest rating I've ever given a Freida McFadden book. So if I were to recommend one of those, it would be that one. And finally, we have The Great Gatsby. And I only wouldn't recommend this book because it is so specific. But if you have also yet to read it and you've always wanted to, may as well give it a read. So those are my ratings and rankings. I'm so sorry that the lighting keeps changing. I need to just invest in some filming lights because I always use daylight by a window, but it totally messes up my filming setup. So I need to address that, especially before I move into the new house, which, by the way, I've kind of forgotten about while I've been filming this section, but I'm literally moving. Today, the realtor is coming to put a sign in the yard. So it's starting to set in and I'm starting to get a little bit nervous, but they're mainly excitement nerves. I'm super excited for this new chapter. Book pun not intended, but very much appreciated. And I can't wait to take you guys along this journey with me. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye.